Now, Atheist Gamer 100, I don't know if you're ready for this or not, so grip your hat tightly. I agree with you. I agree with you that Feminist Frequeincy is an e-beggar. And I agree with you that she is worse than Amazing Atheist at it, in some ways. I say in some ways because she's relatively new at this e-begging thing, whereas Amazing Atheist, that's his entire career. That's what he's done since day one. So if we were to go by quantity, Amazing Atheist has screwed more people out of much more money than Feminist Frequeincy. And in that regard, Amazing Atheist is a highway robber, whereas Feminist Frequeincy is a petty thief. But you're not going to notice that because you're extremely anti-feminist, so you're just going to assume Feminist Frequeincy is worse because in your mind her opinion makes her worse. It has nothing to do with the action itself, just the fact that she's a feminist, so it compounds the problem of her being a thief rather than how much thievery she's actually committing. Now, I'm going to give you a little story. Feminist Frequency's case reminds me of Rich the Rapist Bueller. Rich the Rapist Bueller is this webcomic writer that started a Kickstarter foundation to raise $1 million. He didn't intend for it to get that high, but he did intend to make a lot of money, and it just worked out for him. So, what was the $1 million for? To make trade paperback copies of the webcomic he already released. So essentially, he was getting paid to release something that he was going to sell and make money anyway. Wouldn't you go to a bank for a loan for something like that? But why should he? When he can get his dumbass fans, who he does not appreciate at all, and will ban you on a whim to give him fucking money so that he can turn around and sell you at a nominal fee the webcomic he was making all along. That is the mentality of moderators. Geno360 is going to come running in here. Not all moderators are like that. Not all of them do that specific evil deed. Well, I got a lisp. No, not all moderators do specifically do that back to back. But all moderators are evil in some regard or another. It is the mentality of a moderator. Does this mean that all evil people are moderators? No, but all moderators are evil. You see the mathematics here? Are you starting to see the chemistry? And, so, while I cannot say with certainty that Feminist Frequeincy is a moderator, I can say that this is thievery. I can say that this is a load of crap. And I can say that you shouldn't give her a dime of your money because why does she really need it? She doesn't need money to make videos like she's been doing. Indeed, she may not have a massive gaming library to invoke how often women get downgraded or just ignored completely in gaming. So, then ask for games. If I was going to do something like that, I would not ask you specifically for money. I would say, if you can, give me an old game that you think might come in handy in helping me determine whether or not this trope is invoked. And then from there, or you know what? Go to fucking GameStop. They sell used games for like $5 sometimes, especially the older games she's looking for, or stuff like that. You can ask around, ask your friends, ask things like that. There are plenty of ways to not screw people over to get what you need. And at the same time, it just seems like a ploy. Because, like I said, she wouldn't need that kind of money. She wouldn't need $6,000 specifically to do this. It's just the fact that she figures it would make things easier on herself. She figured with $6,000, oh, she would have enough money to pay her bills and things like that and then spend her dime doing this shit. In other words, she doesn't want to have to do normal work combined with this other project on the side, which is understandable. Who does? Who wants to continue their dead-end, boring-ass job that they absolutely hate? And if you ask me, you should live your life under the philosophy of either to avoid work, either to do work that you love, or to do work that, makes a lot of money. And most people are not living their life in any of those three regards, which is a shame. I don't expect to make a lot of money in life. I never had a lot of money, and I probably never will have a lot of money. But you know what? I do expect to, at some point in my life, to be able to get at least one of those qualities. Where if I can't have a lot of money, then I shouldn't have to work very hard. And if I still have to work very hard, then I should work very hard on something that's either productive to me or to other people. It should actually show objective value that I'm helping society, or at least myself. I am self-fulfilling myself in some way. It makes me happy. If I can't do one of those things, then why the fuck am I even bothering? I may as well just become a hobo, because I sure as hell am not going to work just for the benefit of some asshole that doesn't appreciate me. I'm not going to work just to get by and just to live my life till I eventually die. And I'm certainly not going to work just because it's expected of me. I'm either going to work to better myself, to better the world around me, or at least to live comfortably. And a lot of people don't have those options. A lot of people don't work their a lot of people work their asses off and get absolutely nothing for it. You know, you flip burgers all day, you wipe floors all day, you roof houses all day, and does it really do anything? Doesn't make you money? Doesn't, help society? Doesn't help you personally fulfill your own spiritual and metaphysical needs? And it's certainly not easy work. So why the fuck are you doing it? And she figured out that instead of having to do work, actually, she can sit at home and talk about how there's no feminist video games, or at least very little, and at the same time get money in. You know, maybe not a whole lot of money, maybe not $1 million as in Rich the Rapist Bueller's case, but enough to live comfortably. So she's fulfilling two ends of the spectrum. She's getting out of work, and she's doing something that makes her happy. And unfortunately, it's at the expense of other people, which is the very flaw of capitalism. But I'm getting ahead of myself here because I could go on and on about how capitalism does that. By the very nature of capitalism, someone has to lose in order for you to win. And as much as people are so afraid of communism because, everybody would just be lazy and stupid, guess what? People are already lazy and stupid. If anything, it's the capitalism that motivates them to be lazy and stupid because they have nowhere to go in life, and they fucking know that. They know goddamn well that no matter how hard they work, no matter how smart they are, no matter how talented, no matter how much effort they put in, they're just going to be in that rut because that's what they were born into. It is a feudalistic empire. It's very, very difficult to get out of that. If you are born a certain way, 99% of the time, you're going to stay that way. And to judge an entire political and economic system from the 1% is wrong. It's stupid. That is the very nature of capitalism, the 1%. Either statistically or in actuality, where it's the 1% that control the means of production. So, but like I said, I'm getting ahead of myself here. What I'm really saying here is, yes, Atheist Gamer 100, I agree with you. Feminist Frequency is being an e-beggar. If at some point she explains to me what the dealio is, and, that it's not e-begging, that, she has other plans for the money or whatever, I might say differently. I've done so in the past. But as far as I can tell right now, she's an e-beggar. Like I said, I personally, if I were in her position, if I was going to be asking for that kind of money, I would be either developing feminist video games, that way there's actually feminist video games out there, or I would be using that money for legal fees in order to sue these companies for sexual discrimination, possibly sexual harassment in the workplace, and things like that. Either way, I would be giving back to the community. And you could trust me, because if I don't keep my word, there could be legal consequences. So that would be the proof right there. But she's not doing either of those things. She is not giving people feminist games, and she is not giving women legal leverage to get back at the patriarchy. So why even bother? Why not just do what you're doing? You already have a very popular YouTube channel. You already reach many women, and those women are becoming more self-aware of their situation through you. Why not just continue doing that, and then every so often make a Let's Play video or something about how the video game industry is misogynist? I just don't see the point. And, that's really all I have to say here. So, I'm only making this video just to prove a point. I agree with you, Atheist Gamer 100. What now? Are you going to continue to just spout your bullshit? Or are you going to see that the line between good and evil is not so black and white? It's a very multiple colored spectrum. As I've always said, there is good and evil, but there are different kinds of good and evil. There is a massive color wheel that you and Geno360 and the others are failing to comprehend. And I'm telling you, and I'm going to keep telling you, it is moderators that are the biggest problem. It has nothing to do with feminism. It has nothing to do with homosexuals. It has nothing to do with anything else. All of it centers around moderators. Whatever other problems we have is vicariously through the moderators. And Geno360 is just a lost case. I just don't think that he's willing to listen to reason. But since you're the alpha of the pack, I figure maybe you'll be a little more influenceable. Maybe you'll be a little more rational, and I can reach you somehow. So I guess that's it.